Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Right, we've only got 10 minutes, so I'll try and get through this as quickly as possible. As normal, I'll just talk at you 100 miles an hour for about 10 minutes. But there'll be some time for some questions at the end if you find what I say interesting enough and maybe spark one or two questions. So what I'm going to talk about today is the overall topic of online success for sole traders and SMEs. So specifically for you guys, really. And it's a huge area, websites and online marketing and what works, what doesn't work, what should I focus on. And the benefit of getting your online marketing right is that you're going to get potentially a lot of leads coming in with not a lot of effort. So, you know, some marketing you're constantly having to place adverts or go out networking. But if you get online marketing right, you're going to get inquiries or sales come in, you know, potentially while you sleep 24/7. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So focusing first on your website. Your website really, the way I see your website, is the hub for all your online activity. That's your business activity. So it's a place where people can learn about your business. You can attract leads from social media marketing. You can direct people there on your business cards from email marketing. It's really the hub for all your marketing activity, whatever you decide to do, whether it's AdWords, you know, organic searches, Google search engine marketing, Facebook, Twitter, whatever type of marketing you do. So there are three keys really to a successful website. The first is just aesthetics, how your website looks and functions from the front end. So you want your website to look modern, professional, and importantly, consistent with your brand. So your brand being, say, your logo, your overall colour scheme. You want your brand to be, you know, consistent across everything that you do. So when people see you, say, whether you've got your van marked up, or your business cards, or your social media pages, whether it's a Facebook page or a Twitter account or your YouTube channel, your website, everything wants to be consistent. So people have seen it once before and they recognise it once they see you a second or third time. And on all screens, so that goes without saying, it works well on mobile devices as well as full screens. So the functionality, that's both front end and back end. I'll ask you what functionality options do websites have? What do you want your website to do? Both as you, the website owner, and for the front end for the.
Buy from you.
Yeah, so e-commerce would be one example.
Easy to use. You don't have to go through lots and lots of screens to get to what you need to do.
Okay, yeah, so like the site navigation and the hierarchy, so all the content is easily navigatable through the website.
A way of contacting someone that contacts us.
Yeah, so contact forms, data capture forms, whether it's you know, an offer like download a course or an ebook, or it's just, you know, contact us and we'll get back to you.
Also, it gives you information. Often, if you're dealing with a company, you want to know who they are, when they started, the history about them. So.
Yeah. Okay, so I suppose that would really come into using a content management system. You know, WordPress being the most popular one. So you, as the website owner, or whoever's the administrator of your website, can go in and easily add, edit and delete content, whether it's just changing some simple text on the About Us page, or adding videos if you do some YouTube videos and you want to embed them into your website, to be able to do it easily, quickly, without knowing any, you know, without being a techie. Adding images, galleries, you know, pictures paint 1,000 words, customer testimonials, integrating with social media, so, you know, like your Facebook feed could be on your page, or your Twitter feed. So, you know, it's just providing some cross-channel marketing both ways, from your social media onto your website and the other way around as well. Then it provides some fresh content on your website, so it just doesn't remain static, and it changes without you having to constantly go in and add stuff to it all the time. CRM, so if you use a customer relationship management software, you know, like Salesforce or Zoho or one of those things, it integrates with that. So if somebody says contacts you through your website, rather than it just come through to your email, and then a few months later you lose that email, or you delete it. If it's integrated with a back-end customer relationship management software, all the contacts that have, whether it's a sale, an e-commerce sale, or just somebody filling a form on your website, they're all there in your database ready for some email marketing shots, or you might have some autoresponders set up for some marketing to go out like that. So in other words, it's about integration, so getting your website integrated and talking to, whether it's your social media channels or your email marketing software or your CRM. So in other words, your website has got all the things you want it to do set up, rather than having to be using different bits of software here and there and it be all kind of fragmented. And it attracts your target market. So, most of us in this room will have a business that operates in a geographical area. So you want to be optimizing your site, so when people are searching for what you offer in this area, you're up there, in Google mainly. And that all starts with keyword research. So you want to be making sure that your site is written, optimized, so that's the content on the site, and certain parts of the back end of the site are optimized around those keywords, so they need to be relevant, but they also need to be realistic. Like if you, I don't know, let's pick on somebody here, like Adam, for example. If you just wanted to optimize for health products, that's far too general. You've got no chance as a sole trader. Some big boys on that you wouldn't compete against. But aloe vera distributors in Warwickshire or Rugby just might not be a good example, but you can see what I'm thinking. If you kind of niche it down and also geographicalize it, you can be up there for those niche keywords. So talking a bit more about aesthetics and branding. So it all starts with your logo, I guess. So make it simple. A lot of logos I see are really kind of complicated and complex, and there might be a nice piece of artwork, but they're not necessarily memorable, or they're in 3D, or they use different colours and they don't work well on different media, whether it's printed media, pop-up banners, or even just on a website or social media. So you want something to be, most of the memorable logos and the ones that you can easily remember, just one or two colours and just really simple, and something that will work on all different types of media. Same with your overall branding itself, away from your logo. Keep it simple, blue and white, like I think Martin, red and white, just 2 or 3 complementary colours, and then that's going to be across all your marketing. So you've got a pop-up banner at an exhibition, on your business cards, on your letterheads, your emails, when you're sending your email marketing shots out, or your autoresponders, it's all branded like your website, contains your logo, your colour scheme. So any little bit of marketing you do is all consistent and it's not fragmented. When you're using images on your website, I remember Simon talked about this a few months ago, and we've all probably been guilty of it from time to time, is rather than just nicking images off Google or even using stock images, try and use your own images, because people can tell. You can tell, can't you, when you go on a website and it looks as though it's just full of stock images that have just been. Yeah, and what it personally, when I see that type of website, the impression I get, it's just been copied from somewhere else, and it's just they've done it because we just need a website. Let's get something online. It doesn't really say anything about the business, and it doesn't really give the personality of the business. So business pictures of your premises, you on the job, some of your work, your shop if you've got one, and pictures of your staff, all those type of things make the business real, and in my opinion make it more credible and trustworthy, which is a key point. And your key message or your strapline, keep it simple and memorable. Something Sheila touched on, good navigation. So you can have a search facility on your own site, but make it so through the navigation system and the internal links within the content, it links quickly and easily to relevant pages. So, and this is part of the search engine optimization thing as well. If you're going to have a site that does well in search engine rankings, you want the hierarchy to be ordered in a certain way. I could go on forever that, but I've only got 10 minutes. Focus section. So if you're a business, let's say Mark, he does, he's an IT guy or a computer guy, but he does more than one thing. So rather than just put everything on the home page and just write loads of general content, create focus sections on your site. So Mark could create a whole section of his site, blogs and pages that talk specifically about virus removal or malware removal or networking, NAS devices, networking, can't remember what it meant. Yeah. So in other words, kind of compartmentalize your business in a way. So, for example, if you're doing an offer and you're sending an email shot out or you're pushing out on social media, rather than just direct them to your homepage, which is just, this is what we do and it's 1,000,001 things, direct them to that section of your website, which is focused purely on that one specific service that you offer. Build credibility and trust, which will come as a result of doing all the other things properly. And don't forget that the purpose of your website is to convert that visitor. So have it focused. You either want to make a sale generally or get an inquiry, either somebody to pick up the phone or submit an inquiry form and you contact them. So, it's great having a website with lots of useful content on there, but, have call to actions in appropriate places, whether it's just contact us here, phone number, or a link to a particular product that's relevant to that blog on your website, or just contact us here and it goes to your contact form or pops up a contact form. Make it very easy for people to do what you want them to do, either buy from you or contact you. So racing through functionality. So I've touched on this already. You want a website where you can easily, without any technical knowledge, you need to learn it a little. It takes a little bit of learning, but it's not techie, where you can quickly and easily add and edit and delete content from your site. Tracking analytics. This is really important. You need to know what's working on your site. So whether you're doing search engine optimization, you're running Facebook ad campaigns, you're using Google AdWords, you need to track where your visitors are coming from and the visitor behavior. So when they get into your website from a certain keyword or from a certain ad, what are they doing? So the two fantastic tools, Google Analytics and Facebook Pixel. Facebook Pixel is specifically for people that are running adverts on Facebook. But you can track it right down to, they clicked on that advert, they went to this web page, they clicked on add to cart or add to wish list, and then they didn't buy. Or, but from that keyword or that advert, more percentage of people actually bought. So in other words, if you're using these tracking tools, you can actually see what's working and what's not. Because you might say, I won't imagine there's many people spending a lot of money marketing, like £1,000 a month on these type of things, but let's just use £1,000 as a figure. If you're spending £1,000 a month and you're getting some kind of return from it, a lot of people just think, well, we're happy, we're making a return from it, we don't really know what's working, but we're getting a return, so we're happy enough. But the reality is probably 20% of that, say 200 quid, is doing 80% of the results, and the other 80% is doing virtually nothing. So you could actually, if you're tracking using these tools, you can focus more on doing more of the advertising that's working or the keywords that are working, and just cut out the stuff that's not working. But unless you're tracking it, you've got no idea what's working, what's not. Data capture forms, I've touched on this. Rather than it just someone filling a form on your website and it just goes through to your email, you want it to go into a database or your email marketing software or your CRM. So you've got that data, that it could just be a name and an email address, or it could be, if it's an online sale, it's probably a lot more than that, their address and stuff like that, but you've got it there for future marketing. If you just get it to come through to your email, the chances are it's unorganised. When you want to send an email shot out, it's not in your software, so you can send it, it's in your Outlook inbox or whatever email program that you use. If it goes into, if it's integrated with your email marketing software, your CRM, it's there straight away, so if you want to do some marketing, you've got the details and you can just send it straight away. Social media integration, so I don't know how many of you are using YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, but it can integrate two ways. So you can have your Facebook feed and your YouTube videos and your Twitter feed on your website. But for some of my clients, I set it up so their Twitter in particular automatically updates with when they post a new page or a blog on their website, it automatically updates the Twitter, so it's providing, so you're not having to do it separately. So you can, update your site, it pings off to your social media networks, and it's done. Or you can even bring in third-party feeds into your Twitter feed, for example. So you can, bring some RSS feeds from various news sources and make that populate your Twitter feed with content, rather than having to go in every day or every week and do it yourself manually. Right, last page, I think. So, attract your target market. You can have a really nice website that makes it easy to buy from you, easy to contact you. It's really well laid out. It looks professional, but if you're not getting traffic to that website, you're not getting, targeted traffic, then it's not going to make you any money. So, it all starts with keyword research. This is particularly if you're trying to get, high up in the Google rankings. There are various tools, which I think I mentioned in my last talk last year if you was here, but there are various tools which can help you find opportunities in keywords. So you want keywords that are relevant, relatively popular, but not overly competitive or overly general. The more general your keywords. So for example, let's say you're a recruitment company and you're just trying to get #1 in Google for the jobs keyword. You've got no chance. But, jobs in rugby, jobs in Warwickshire, or HGV driving jobs in Warwickshire, that type of thing, you understand where I'm going. You can optimise your website or certain sections of your website around those more focused keywords. And if you're using the tools, it will tell you what the relative search volume is and the relative competition. Both Facebook and Google really allow you to drill down into the demographics, so you can target coffee lovers, you can target females of a certain age in a certain geographical area. You can really target, and by using, you can to a certain degree with Google as well. By retargeting, all that means is that if somebody's visited your website and then they go off on the internet searching or browsing, whether it's Facebook or just websites, your ad will appear on those other websites. So it's retargeting just means that they visit your site and they're going to see your ads on somebody else's website, whether it's just another business or Facebook or something like that. It's really powerful because it's just all about, there's an old anagram called ADA. Some of you might have heard of it. It's an old advertising: awareness, interest, desire, action. So the first time somebody sees something, they become aware of it. Obviously, if they haven't seen it, they won't be aware of it. If they see it a second time, they become potentially interested in it. Third time they see it, they actually desire that thing. And then the fourth time, they might take action. So retargeting just piggybacks on that concept. So if they've gone on your site, left for whatever reason, they might have didn't buy something, or they might have just been looking for information, and they see your advert again and click on your site again, they're going to think, wow, this guy's everywhere. So it's just a way of kind of keeping you in the mind of the visitor. So reiterating again, build your brand so make your brand consistent across all online platforms. So your website looks and feels the same as your Facebook profile and your Twitter profile and your YouTube account and your Google My Business profile and your Yelp listing or your Bing for places. So in other words, everything that you do online looks and feels the same as your website. Use your logo, use the same colours, that type of thing. Use local and national directories. It's free. It gives you a little boost. Google My Business, just mentioned those. And if you're using Google My Business, ask your customers for reviews, because you often see now, if you search for a certain keyword or business, the Google My Business results will be on the right or at the top now. So if you're on there, that's great, but generally the ones that appear at the top are the ones that have got the most reviews. So if you've got a Google My Business listing, get your customers to give you reviews. Only the good customers that like you, not the bad ones. Yeah. Use as many social media channels as you practically can. Everyone's got different time constraints, but as I mentioned before, you can actually automate a lot of it. And finally, write regular blogs and, where appropriate, press releases. So blogging is a way to demonstrate your expertise, build credibility, build trust, and it's also good as part of your overall search engine optimization strategy. So you can blog about something quite specific and just really demonstrate your expertise. And you can engage people, you can do surveys and things like that. So I've covered a lot there. There's a lot to take in maybe, but and it's been quite general. I've covered a lot of areas, but that's really just a bit of a recipe really for success online for small businesses. Any questions?
I would add to that, particularly your point there about building the brand and incorporating your domain names. I hate nothing more than seeing somebody who has their own website and then uses a Gmail account for their email.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's so amateur.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's easy to say. If you've got web hosting, I mean, my clients, when I set them up web hosting, email hosting comes as part of it. You set it up as a separate mailbox, and it just comes into your Outlook or your phone just as your Gmail does. And for the sake of 10 minutes that it takes to set up, a totally good point.
Is it still being the same sort of, is Google still using the same sort of tools to look for sites, as it were? Do
Well, the Google algorithm, you mean?
Yes,
to rank sites, the ranking criteria.
Yeah.
Is
that changing
all the time? It changes all the time, yeah. I mean, when I first started out doing this in 2001, 2002, I used totally different strategies than what I use now. Then it was just putting the right keywords on the right page in the right parts of your site and link building, just getting loads of reciprocal links. Now it's much more than that. It's about all the social media stuff will help. It's called social signals. So if you're doing a lot on social media, especially if your social media channels, whether it's a YouTube video or a tweet that you put out, gets shared by other channels, that counts quite big. Links from other websites do count still for a lot, but rather than just trying to do reciprocal links or just trying to, what you call link bait, just write really good content, do really useful, informative, funny, whichever videos or content, and naturally they will attract traffic. That's what Google says itself. Like Google have got so much more smart on black hat, what you call black hat search engine optimization techniques. So a lot of those old techniques is, you're more likely to get penalised for it now than actually increase your rankings, yeah. That's another talk. I mean, talking about the Google algorithm and the factors is, you could talk for days on that.
Offer all these services then? SEO, marketing and web design? Is that what you do?
Yeah. I generally don't offer ongoing search engine optimization. I'll do the initial keyword research. I'll implement it into the site, so optimize the site, the navigation, the hierarchy, the pages, the coding, so it's all optimized, and then teach the client what to do. I don't like writing blogs for people because I don't know your business as well as you do, and some people don't. The amount of clients I've banged my head against the wall, I've told them all this stuff and they don't do it. And it's really frustrating, but you can only lead a horse to water, can't you?
In terms of email marketing, there's this change, isn't there, in terms of having permission and all that stuff. Can you explain that and when that's coming in?
I don't know the exact date. I think it's next year where you, unless somebody's specifically said, yes, I want you to send me your marketing. They've specifically opted in and they've had the chance. So in other words, you used to be able to just send people an email, and as long as you give them a chance to opt out, that was okay. Now you can't even send that first email unless they've opted in. So for example, if you've got a form on your website to collect somebody's data, you just use the opt-in procedure. So they've submitted the details, they'll get an email back which will ask them to confirm their subscription to that mailing list. And once they've done that, then they've opted in. And as long as you give them a chance to opt out on subsequent emails, that's fine. But if you just import a load of contacts from a CSV file or something and then just start emailing, I mean, if you're running that from your own server, you're likely to get blacklisted. If you're using email software like MailChimp or something, they'll quickly be on that and they'll either at least give you a warning or probably ban your account.
Is there is verbal confirmation in it? So if they say
I don't know that.
I wouldn't have thought
It's
so.
interesting though, it's because I was going to ask that question.
How can you measure it? That's the thing, isn't it? How can you confirm that? Yes, they've said it was okay. If you've got something by email, you've got an audit trail, I suppose, haven't you?
I was at another networking, we're talking about exactly this, because normally you go to a networking meeting like this, somebody gives you a business card,
Yeah.
you can relate them and email. You
email
cannot,
it?
from GDPR you cannot. Because if they give you a business card, that does not give you the right then just to email them.
And it's right, really, because,
You have to ask them permission
yeah.
to do it.
I mean, the amount of mailing lists I've been added to over the years, and I think, well, I'd never asked to be added to this mailing list, so it's right. It's just ethics, really.
If they're going to give you a business card though, can you get them to sign the business card to say I'm happy to get for you to contact me?
Got to be digital.
It's got to be digital,
Has it?
is it?
Yeah.
But I understood if they give you a business card, you can just email them personally.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I've asked
we can't put them onto a mailing
No, you can't
list.
put them onto a mailing list. And
Which is
am
a
I
problem
right?
we have,
Yeah.
because I mean, if people come along here to a network meeting,
You
we will
start
add them to a
moving.
network.
Yeah, so I'll probably fall foul of that from next year.
Stop, do
Yeah.
change the way we
You're on
work
camera.
around.
Yeah.
I said will do, I don't say have. I've still got a chance to get out of that.
Am I right in thinking once they've entered into a transaction with you, if they bought from you, you can then send them, say, you bought this from us, we'll give you more details.
Well, if it's related to that transaction, yes. But if you add them to a mailing list, they must, at some point during the purchase process, they must say, yes, I'm happy to opt into your mailing list. If they haven't, then you can't email them other than related to that particular
Well,
transaction.
You can email, once they've bought from you, you can then send them more stuff about products and things.
At the moment,
At the
yeah.
moment.
At the moment, yeah.
Well, it's not the people
Very
overseas though, will
interesting.
it?
It's interesting
No.
because whenever I get a card, I always ask them if I can send you an email or whatever, but obviously, according to what we've learned today, by this time next year, you've got to have it in writing.
Well, the problem is, they can always say, I never said that.
Yeah.
It's verbal then, you can't make, you go something.
You must. Have you ever signed up to a mailing list where you unsubscribe and then ask you the reason why you're unsubscribing? And then one of the options is I never signed up to this mailing list. So, for example, MailChimp do that, and they'll then blacklist you for that. If you're getting a number of those coming through, you'll get a slap on the wrist at the very least.
Assuming here, you'll just have a terms and conditions when people join, and one of the options will be you agree to letting us put
We'll
on the
have to,
mailing
yeah,
list.
we'll
Yeah.
have to.
But they must tick the box and not untick it, I think, probably.
Yeah, we've got to tick it in.
Yeah,
We can't, it used to be opt out, but now you have to opt in.
yeah. That's the difference, opt in rather than opt out.
All right, Paul.
All right, cheers.